studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective to current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, providing you the timely truths centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, and so much more. I don't care if you're climbing that corporate ladder or you're throwing a ladder in your truck on the way to work every day, this show's for you. Our number one goal is to help our consumers win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
And shots out to Work Done Charities. We're the good guys here in Tampa Bay. Shots out to Work Done Charities, Homestrong USA, and also Freedom Boat Club, the official partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. It's a membership-based boat operation here with 13 locations. It's nationwide as well, and a great opportunity to pull up, bring your cooler, bring your towels, jump on the boat, and don't have to deal with all that mess and clean up. And also Hula Bay, it's our official restaurant partner. We're going to limo there after the show today down to Hula Bay. Shots out to Tampa Limo and Car as well, Roberto Gonzalez. And another great show lined up for you here. And all-star lineup, it's Intelligent Talk Radio. We got some intelligent folks in studio here today. I'm very pleased to have my friend Jairek Robbins in studio. Welcome in.
Good to be here. I'm excited to share how to achieve success by living with purpose for people here listening in. Hopefully we can rock their world with today.
That's right. Got the new book out, and we're going to talk about that book and some other cool content today. And also in studio, Captain Will Smith. Welcome back in.
Thanks, Brandon. Great to be here. I'm really excited about my book that I'm launching and a lot of positive things going on this summer.
Excellent. And, of course, my trusty co-host, the Wolf, Jason Salmon, in studio.
Always great to be here. Today we got another edition of Ask the Real Estate Quarterback, as well as some other news in real estate and business.
Excellent. Yeah, the Real Estate Quarterback Show, our number one goal is to help you win as a consumer out there, help you sort through a lot of the nonsense you find in the mainstream media, and provide you the timely truths here, centered around all things real estate, business, finance, estate planning, so much more. And we have this great content lined up for you today. Before we jump into it, I want to touch on a couple of hot listings that we just got listed here. We got 9807 Bay Island Drive in Tampa in that beautiful Bayport Village community. 5 bedrooms, 3 and 1/2 bath property at $800,000, and it just hit the market right here in Bayport Village. Great opportunity. It's a lakefront property with bay access, kind of access those waters over by Hogan's Beach and the Rusty Pelican, all those cool restaurants over there, Whiskey Joe's. And we also have 5506 Beam and Dew Loop in Land O'Lakes. This is a 4-bedroom, 5 and 1/2 bath property, custom-built, high-end home situated on gorgeous Lake Thomas in a private gated community. List price on that is $1.275 million. Owner is motivated there. And we also have 219 18th Avenue in Indian Rocks Beach. This is one of my favorite listings. It's a 2-2 townhouse in Bayside Oaks, literally a 2-minute walk across the Gulf Boulevard, and you're on the Sugar Sand beaches in the greatest Tri-City area in Tampa Bay, and that's Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater.
I'm somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, let's plug also Children's Cancer Center. We are the good guys here in Tampa Bay. We have a strong moral obligation here to give back and to help out those less fortunate and maybe hit with something unexpected here. So we're helping out and raise money for the 3rd annual Children's Cancer Center Gelatin Plunge. And I got to tell you, my daughter got some really good laughs out of it when I told her I'm going to be sliding down a slide into a oversized pool full of gelatin. And that's on Saturday, June 13th, and the hashtag on social media is CCCGP. And we're also doing a Platinum MVP Realty Social here in the Real Estate Quarterback Show as well in conjunction with Children's Cancer Center. It's on June 4th at Blue Martini. Great place to have some events, and it's Let's Raise a Glass social to kind of kick off that raising. We got a goal of $25,000, Jason, that we're trying to hit for a good organization there.
Yeah, and make sure if you want to see Brandon slide into some gelatin and full football pads, please go to crowdrise.com/realestatequarterback.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's what they say for frat parties, but somehow as an adult, if you can sneak that in, and especially for a good cause.
That's right.
I see what you guys are doing here.
That's right. We try to have fun and we mix it up, and we're a little innovative with our businesses as well. But yeah, let's have some fun. Let's raise some money for these families hit with the cancer and those types of things that happen in our community. Let's stop cancer in its tracks, and we need your help out there. All of our listeners, we really appreciate if you could check out crowdrise.com /gelatin plunge, or go to the REQB show page, and let's raise some money for those kids. And that's Saturday, June 13th. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the social that we're having again is on the 4th, June 4th, coming up here just a week or two at the Blue Martini from 5 to 7 p.m. Come out there and say hello, shake some hands, meet some people, all of our show partners. Again, we've got 45 different show partners now with the Real Estate Quarterback Show, and they are the finest folks here in Tampa Bay, business leaders. A lot of them are the best in their profession and voted #1 by their peers, and a lot of cool stuff going on with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. So excited to have Jairek Robbins in studio. Welcome in. And one of the main things is I was listening to a lot of your content, a big fan, is life supports that which supports life.
It absolutely does. My biggest thing is I looked around in life and I looked for people who are extremely successful. And successful obviously is different for people in different walks of life. One person's version of success is waking up and doing what matters to them most. One person is raising a beautiful family. Another person is being good with God and being connected and guided in life. Another person is making $1 billion and building a cool building in Las Vegas. Like, I don't know what your version of success is.
Right.
But I looked around, and if we were to just focus on business success, financial success, as far as that's concerned, and more achievement, I looked for people in my life and tried to figure out what was the difference between those people who were struggling to pay bills every month and the people who made not just a little bit more than others, but a different universe level of money compared to others.
Yeah.
And I had two specific in my life that stood out. One was my dad, who's done extremely well.
Yep.
He started off homeless in the back of his car, and now he's up to about 22 companies that do roughly $6 billion a year in revenue combined between them.
Yeah.
That's a 55-year life, but within 36 years of business, that's a huge leap over time.
Absolutely.
And I looked at him, and then I looked at my grandma. My grandma is someone who's now in her 70s, and at 74 years old, she still cold calls 3 days a week. And I was talking to her this morning. She's working 6 days a week selling life insurance.
Yeah.
And so I would say, anyone listening to this show, if you don't cold call at least 3 days a week for your business, my grandma is kicking your butt, first off. So we'll start there.
That's right.
But to look, and I said, what's the difference? What caused both of these people to be so successful? She makes over $250,000 a year personally in personal income in her business, in sales. And I watched, and what was interesting is both of them found a way to support so much more than just themselves with every single penny they earned.
That's it.
And my grandma, fast forward a story, I remember one time knocking over an envelope in her home office, and I was helping her clean it, knocked over an envelope, looked at the receipts. She was paying for books and classes and tuition for a local community college. And I was thinking, Grandma's going back to school? Like, what are you doing? Read through them, and I finally asked her, and she wouldn't tell me at first, but she finally told me. And what's fascinating is she was paying for her assistant, her secretary, to go to college.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I looked at her, I'm like, hey, you have grandkids, right? She started laughing. She said, you guys are fine. And I said, but what in the world are you paying for someone else to go to college for just out of the blue? Like, was it a deal, a bet? Like, what happened? She goes, no, I just believe that if someone's willing to work hard, I'm willing to support them in their goals.
Right.
And I looked at that, and I started looking through her life and trying to figure out where else does this hold true, and it was just about everywhere.
Yep.
Supporting family, supporting friends, finding a way to go out of her way to support the community around her. And it started to build this belief of life supports that which supports life.
Yep.
And anytime you're out there supporting more life will find a way to support you. And It's not just a catchphrase. I looked at my dad, and I said, how in the world did he get started? I met a friend of his at one of his events, and it's really interesting because your parents tell you how cool they were. And they always have great stories. But when you meet their friends who actually knew them when they were like 16,
right,
you get the dirt. You're like, how cool were they? Like, were they nerdy? Were they weird? Like, what was really going on? So I met this friend of his who knew him when he was 16. And I asked him, I'm like, what was he like? And she said, he was an incredible, unique human being.
Right.
I said, what made him unique? She goes, I remember this one time. He got in a fight with his mom. He got kicked out of the house. He was living in the back of his car. The only reason I knew that, he was taking a shower at my house every morning before work because we worked together. And we decided to have a friend's Thanksgiving. So everyone would get together and we'd have Thanksgiving as friends because we knew he wasn't going home. He was fighting with his mom. So everyone else showed up except for him on Thanksgiving. He finally showed up at like 9, 10 at night, and they all razzed him like, "Where were you?" And he wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Here's what's crazy. He had a door-to-door sales job selling cassette tapes to people as an indestructible way to preserve your records for life. What a business. But that's what he was selling.
Yep.
And what landed up happening was he was saving money on the side so that on Thanksgiving he could go give a basket full of all the good Thanksgiving food to a family who really needed it, who might
Right.
not have afforded that themselves.
Right.
16 years old, living in the back of his car, homeless at the time, basically, saving his money out of his own check to go help people.
Yeah. Says
How's
a
that
lot.
added up? 22 companies, $6 million in revenue. Look at the difference.
Yeah, it says a lot, and it kind of reverts me back to that law of attraction type of thinking. And too many times we see, especially our younger generation, they're looking at the Kardashians, or they're wasting time on a lot of this stuff. And it's what you put in the mind is going to come out, and it's going to live your life that way. So great point. And I was also wrote down a note here. I have a conversation with my grandma. And the work ethic that generation had, she got married, and the next day she was back out in the field working and canning tomatoes and that type of stuff. That's the work ethic that we'll talk about in the next segment. That I liked some of the conversations I listened to, some of your SoundCloud and other stuff out there. But
the other piece that exists there, it's more than just thinking good, because a lot of people think, oh, I'll go help, or oh yeah, that's nice to do, or oh, someday if I make enough, then I'll try.
Yep.
16 years old, living in the back of a car, homeless, saving money that he didn't even have his own apartment to give away.
Yeah.
When
that's
you
big.
can make it a must when you don't have it, you'll find a way to make it a must when you have it.
Good point. We're going to touch more on that. You're listening to Jairek Robbins on the Real Estate Quarterback Show, and also our experts and contributors in studio as well. And we're going to touch on an interesting story in the news relating to real estate. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie put up New Orleans mansion on the market for $6.5 million. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, recently featured in Florida Realtor Magazine for the second time in the last 2 years, recognized for my innovation with marketing, search engine optimization, YouTube video marketing, radio show, TV show, stacking value for our sellers to sell their properties and profit more on the sale of their home. I also have an expert buyer agent team and a whole plethora of teammates and help with that as well with growing our show. And this segment is brought to you by Global Pilot Academy, Tampa Executive Airport, Captain Will Smith in studio, as well as Jairek Robbins. He's a #1 best-selling author. He's a performance coach and a lifestyle entrepreneur. And Jason Salmon, he's our expert buyer agent and also the VP of Crush Craft Marketing, one of our real estate quarterback show conglomerate of companies. And so we want to touch on these couple of hot listings. Now, question for you. Have you ever wanted to own your own hotel? Well, I've got an opportunity for you here on one of the best beaches in America, best beaches in the world for that matter, 636 Corey Avenue in St. Pete Beach. This is a $640,000 property. It's a minute steps to the beach, and it's 636 Corey Avenue. The owner is motivated on this property, looking to sell this hotel in Pinellas County. And we also have 16230 Sea Pines Drive in Hudson. This is a nice 3-2, kind of a starter family home at $120,000, priced right there in a nice price point for a lot of first-time buyers. And I've got 0 Merlin Drive in Newport Richey, and this is in Hidden Lake Estates. It's a beautiful opportunity here. We just reduced the price on this property down to $89,000. You can build your dream home and airplane hangar on this beautiful wooded lot. Vacant lot is over 200 feet wide, tapers back to 465 feet on one side and 303 on the other. And it's a great airport community. And I have Captain Will Smith in studio. I asked him to be my expert on the marketability of this property and some of these cool that you see. A lot of folks have a garage where we keep our cars, but this type of community. Take it away, Cap.
Yeah, these are great opportunities for flying communities, especially for pilots. If you look it up on your map, it's going to be Foxtrot Alpha 40, where you'll find this this awesome community. I've been there. It's gated. They have really nice houses. This is a great price on that property. A lot of people, I have a couple of friends that live up in Brooksville that will fly to work. As crazy as that may seem, when they work in Tampa, they don't have to fight that traffic.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the airports, you have your own aircraft there on property in a hangar. So next time you go to the Keys, and a lot of these people do it, they'll fly there themselves.
Yeah.
I've driven by the property a couple of times, and some of the houses are there was kind of unique. You used to see cars sitting in the driveway. Well, there's planes sitting in the driveway.
Love it.
Someone's Mooney or their Cessna, and they have fun with it, and they travel throughout Florida. Florida is one of the biggest states in the country that has all these flying communities.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity. The price is outstanding. I would jump all over that myself. I might talk to you after the show about it because opportunities like this don't come by very often, but it's a very quiet and it's hidden. A lot of people don't know about it, and it's tucked away, and it's a beautiful community. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for someone that has an aircraft, that's into aviation, to jump on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's check out all of our listings at realestateradio.tampa.com is our website. And I want you to pull out your smartphone, save this number in your phone. We got a couple of offers coming up as well. It's 813-917-1894. Consumer Advocate Hotline is 813-917-1894. And you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show all-star lineup for you. Let's jump back into this great content. We've got Jairek Robbins in studio, #1 best-selling author, performance coach, lifestyle entrepreneur. And we were just kind of following up with that. Life supports that which supports life. And what would be your next area to take that? Because I know a lot of times we kind of think about these lofty, and we want to break it down for our consumers and help them live a better life out there.
Sure. The biggest point that bugs me is people go out and learn all these lofty concepts and things that sound nice. The law of attraction, get excited, stay focused on your goals, envision them every day. And all that's wonderful. But if you only do that, it's not enough in my eyes.
Yeah.
That's a good starting point. It gets you excited, it gets you motivated, it gets you pumped up for the moment, but it doesn't last.
Right.
And my thought is, how do you set up systems? How do you set up processes that cause someone to actually have a better day? And if we were to start simple with the beginning of someone's day, there was a study done, just to set the frame for this. There was a study done where they had someone waiting in let's say a waiting room, like outside here in the station. And as they were waiting there, the test was they had someone walk by and say, hey, would you mind holding my cup for just a moment? And they would hand him a cup of coffee. And the only difference was one cup of coffee was ice cold, one cup of coffee was warm. They'd hand it to him for 15 seconds, bend down, tie their shoe, stand back up, say thank you, and walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as the person with the iced cup of coffee came by and handed it to the person and then left, the next person in the room was a researcher. And they would say, what did you think of the person who was just here? Here's what's interesting. For holding a cup of coffee for there's 15 seconds, and they tested it with a lot of people, warm cup first, cold cup second, cold cup first, warm cup second, just kept testing it.
Interesting, yeah.
Here's what the variation showed. The people who held a warm cup of coffee felt warm feelings and good thoughts toward the person who was just there. They considered them kind, they considered them generous, considered them a nice person. People who held a cold cup of coffee considered the person just there as mean, rude, obnoxious, pushy.
Wow.
Just by holding a different temperature a cup of coffee in the moment.
Interesting.
Now, one thing, whoever you work with, obviously hand them warm cups of coffee.
Yeah, there you go.
If you're going to sell or buy a home from someone or working with someone, make sure there's warm coffee around, obviously.
Sure.
But more important than that, if holding a cup for 15 seconds can change your outlook on life, imagine if you took 15 minutes and actually had a routine to prepare your mind for the day.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference would be?
That's it.
I mean, 15 seconds changes how you perceive people and life around you. 15 minutes can change the entire day for you. So what would you do in that 15 minutes?
Yep.
One, this is going to sound interesting to some people and off to others, but meditate.
Yeah.
What is meditation? There's a great app called Headspace that teaches people who've never done it before, who have no clue what it is, who thinks it's hairy, fairy, up in the sky, weird stuff. Download the app. It teaches you how to do it. I have a client of mine who helps run Microsoft Ventures over in London. He hated the word. I told him about it so many times he wouldn't even consider it. We got him to do it. Now he's like, wow, I have like clarity in my day. I can just see things. Like I was stuck in the forest before. Now I can just see the whole forest from away, and it's nice. So one, meditate with that time.
You
Two,
know, on that, before we go to 2, it reminds me as well is when you take that time and you clear your thoughts. Dr. Wayne Dyer is one of my favorites, and you clear your mind. It's amazing how that allows this because a lot of times we have all this noise in our life, the music, the whatever when we start our routine. When you clear that mind and you get quiet with yourself, it allows the opportunity for God, the universe, the source to bring those thoughts that you're already sending out that signal for, and it's bringing in. Right?
Absolutely. And exactly, you need space for that to exist.
Exactly.
Otherwise, your bills, the frustration, whoever's calling you, whoever just hit up your cell phone first thing in the morning, the text message that came in, the email that came in, good or bad, that's determining your life, not you.
Right.
So first, create space to actually have life that you want. Create space for it. Second, now you have to direct your mind. The first place to go when you're directing your mind is gratitude.
Exactly.
Fill up with gratitude. Why? Because it takes you out of any limited situation you're in and it puts you in a place of abundance emotionally.
Yeah.
Second, once you're grateful, figure out where you're going. What's your 20-year vision for your life, your 10-year vision, your 5-year vision, your 6-month vision, your this week vision today? Yep. And when you get to the day, switch from just visualizing the ideal outcome to actually mentally rehearsing your day.
Yeah.
And that's something that Muhammad Ali used to prepare for every match. It's where you see the good stuff happening, you see the challenging things happening, and you see yourself successfully making it through those challenges.
And the Roger Bannister example, we'll touch on that in the next segment. We got a break here, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. That's Jairek Robbins, #1 best-selling author, performance coach, lifestyle entrepreneur. And would you take us to break, Jairek?
Absolutely. You've been listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show with my man Brandon Rhymes, and we will see you in just a minute.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Real Estate Quarterback Show, making you just a bit more street smart. Your number one super connector for all things real estate, credit, finance. Got 45 show partners. I want you to think of this show as the hub of your financial wheel, and each spoke extending out is going to represent another one of our preferred partners, the finest folks, our real estate and finance elite in Tampa Bay. All the home services, everything that you would expect from a Real Estate Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty and Crush Craft Marketing. And before we jump back into this great content, I want to plug our sponsor for this segment. It's Dr. Doug Arvanitis. He is the pros chiropractor. He's a good friend of mine and does a great job for helping me with some of these old school football, let's just call them football injuries there. And, great time visiting with him each week and taking care of me, take care of a lot of the different athletes here in Tampa Bay. And Dr. Doug Arvanitis, Pro Health on Del Mabry there. And so let's jump back into, got a couple of hot listings here, actually. I got 4704 Ashton Court in Tampa. This is in the Stonehenge community, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, listed just perfectly at $228,000 here for a nice property in the Carrollwood area. And we've got vacant land, a lot of vacant land here in St. Pete Beach, very close proximity to Corey Avenue. So we reach out for that. I can't give out the